Hey, yo, y'all can't stand right here. In his right hand was your...
Good morning, Colonel Bye.
It's Friday, January 27th.
It's a day 2.
I'm Anastasia.
And I'm Mara. And here are your morning announcements.
Today is International Holocaust Remembrance Day. International Holocaust Remembrance Day honors and remembers the over 6 million Jews murdered and countless other victims harmed, displaced, and separated from families in the Holocaust.
The OCDSB is actively addressing our responsibility to educate, prevent, challenge, and address anti-Semitism in all its forms. Please watch the following segment from yesterday's Cougar Vision show.
Tomorrow, January 27th, marks the anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz-Birkenau, the largest of the Nazi death camps. Every year on that day, Holocaust Memorial Day takes place. This year, the HMD Trust theme for Holocaust Memorial Day is Ordinary People. Elie Wiesel, a survivor of the Holocaust, said, "What is abnormal is that I am normal, that I survived the Holocaust and went on to love beautiful girls, to talk, to write, to have toast and tea and live my life. That is what is abnormal." Ordinary people were involved in all aspects of the Holocaust. Genocide is facilitated by ordinary people. The perpetrators were ordinary people in positions of power who took advantage of a set of circumstances or who created a set of circumstances that allowed them to abuse their power and discriminate, persecute, and murder. And those who are persecuted, oppressed, and murdered in genocide aren't persecuted because of crimes they've committed. They are persecuted simply because they are ordinary people who belong to a particular group. The National Holocaust Monument is a Holocaust memorial in Ottawa, designed by Daniel Libeskind. The monument was built due to the persistent activism of former University of Ottawa student Laura Grossman. Laura began advocating for a monument to be built commemorating the Nazis' atrocities and as a beacon of light for Canadian Holocaust survivors. Join us January 27th for International Holocaust Remembrance Day, when we remember the Nazis' act of genocide so that no one else will suffer like that again. Ordinary people are responsible to challenge prejudice, stand up to hatred, to speak out against identity-based persecution, and to stop anti-Semitism.
The Aspire Youth Summit is dedicated to youth-led, youth-focused programming designed to empower students who plan on entering the world of work after graduation to be the change that modern workforces need.
Join us for this free virtual youth summit to expand your knowledge, resources, and vision for your budding career.
This year's summit takes place on Thursday, February 9th from 10 to 4 p.m. Please speak to your guidance counselor for more information.
Olive Branch will be hosting a screening of the New Yorker documentary A Stranger at the Gate in room 215 on Monday at lunch. Please join us.
Waterloo University's Canadian Computing Competition will be held on Wednesday, February 15th in the Learning Commons at school.
The contest will run over the first 2 periods of the day. For more information, talk to your ICS teacher or email Mr. Hudson at the email below.
Attention grade 9, 10, and 11 students interested in the Pathway to Exploration mini courses program put on by Ottawa U, Carleton U, and Algonquin College. This year's program dates are May 1st to 5th, and the cost is $180 per student.
Interested students are invited to email Ms. Waddell to express interest. In your email, please indicate your name and current grade. Expressions of interest are due by 3 p.m. on Wednesday, February 1st.
Next Friday is Fun Friday and Grade Color Day. The activity at lunch will be limbo.
You know what? I want to have a fun Friday with Friday Show.
Well then you're watching the right show.
Here's your Friday Show!
Hey CB, I'm Augustia.
And I'm Jonah.
And today, Friday Show came down to check out Level 1 Game Pub and Bar.
I've heard that they have a really big variety of video games and board games, so I'm excited to see what they have to offer.
Let's go check it out.
So we started this business in May of 2014 as the Loft Board Game Lounge, and we had about 750 board games back then. 800 is about what we started with. And it took off pretty well, and there was a restaurant down here on the main floor where we are now, and that restaurant went out of business in the fall of 2015, so we sort of took that over, realized we couldn't call it the Loft because it was a main floor place, so we called it Level 1, as in the first level. And we thought it'd be fun just to have video games too, because a lot of people on staff and the owner team, we love playing video games as well as board games. We just thought if we have more space, let's make it more of the same sort of fun thing that draws people in. We have around 1,450 different titles and a little bit more than that in terms of having some extra copies of the really popular stuff. A few years ago, I would say the most popular game here by number of plays in terms of board games pre-pandemic was the board game Pandemic. I'm not joking. That was the most played board game. And the most played games in terms of number of plays, I think, would be games, really silly date games like Guess Who and Battleship. We host a number of weekly events here. On Sundays, we have a small group that comes out for Magic the Gathering, like a Sunday night Magic the Gathering event. And then on Mondays, we host our own in-house trivia, geek trivia. So we have a guy who works here, Alex, who makes the trivia questions himself every single week. He has a theme. It can be based on any type of popular intellectual property. It could be, Game of Thrones. It could be Lord of the Rings. It could be video games, movies, TV. So that gets a lot of people out on our Monday night. On Tuesday night, there's a sort of a self-organized group called TKO Tuesdays, and they just do fighting games of all kinds in the video game section. And then on Wednesdays, we have like a Dungeons and Dragons night. And then on Thursdays, there's sort of a Reddit-based meetup. So basically, yeah, Sunday through Thursday, there's always something going on as well. And then obviously a lot of, like I said, office parties and that sort of thing they come into.
So CB, to end off our visit to level 1 today, Jonah and I thought we would settle it with a little bit of a competition. Now, Mr. Baird and Mr. Virgo have been asking the question, who has the better hair, me or Jonah? So we thought we would settle it with a game of Mario Kart.
May the best flow win. Game on.
Let's get it. Yeah, this is why I don't have my G1, bro. I cannot drive for my life. Well, that sure was an intense race between me and Jonah. I know that I may have won this race, but I think in the end, the true point of all of this was to show that we're just friends. We both have exquisite hair. That's what it's really about, eh? Yeah.
Honestly, Augusta, I agree. It's probably what Mr. Baird and Mr. Virgo wanted us to realize,
I think that's just the whole point of Cougar Vision. It's just realizing this great group of friends around you. So
Good
that's
game,
all
man.
from us today, CB.
Have a Final Fantasy Friday.
So nasty that it's probably somewhat of a travesty having me. Then he told the people you could call me a